Hello, welcome to this exam question video. In this one we are going to be looking at synovial joints. In figure 2, in this question here, we have the knee joint, which we know because we can see the patella, which is the suspended bone just towards the side of this diagram, and it's basically asking us to label the structures. Now before we get into labelling A and B for the answers, what we'll quickly do is run through what a synovial joint is made up of. So I jump into the whiteboard, and if we just crudely draw sort of the femur coming down and then our tibia coming up from the base. What we do have, first off, are, if I change the colour of that one, we have the ligament that attaches bone to bone. So the first one there, we have ligaments that attach bone to bone. Now in order to keep everything of the joint enclosed in one place, what we do have is the joint capsule, which runs around the exterior of the joint. It's obviously internal, so it's below the muscles, but where the bones actually meet, it wraps around the exterior. And on the inside of that joint capsule, we then have, if I put it in orange, we have the synovial membrane. So this gel-like, rubbery-like substance lines the inside of the joint capsule. Not all the way around, but this is just a sort of an overall diagram of a synovial joint. Inside of all of this is then where we have the synovial fluid, which is there to help lubricate and to help make sure that the space inside of the joint stays friction free and the ends of the bones can actually move across each other without friction, without heat, without pain. And then the last thing that we're going to add on here is our cartilage. So I'll draw this in purple, and the cartilage wraps around the end surface of the bones which are meeting inside of the joint itself. So we've got the purple there as the cartilage, we've got these blue wavy lines as the synovial fluid, we've got the synovial membrane in orange, which is on the inside of the joint capsule, which is in green, and we also have the ligament there, which is suspended across the two bones. And then obviously external to the joint, we would then have, if I just put in this brown colour here, is then where we would have the muscle attaching down into the tendon onto the ends of the bone, and vice versa on the other side, tendon into the bone like that. Obviously around there we do have the vascular network as well, so plenty of veins and arteries and capillaries supplying this whole region with its blood flow, but that's the basic structures of a synovial joint. The only thing that you would add into that would be a bursa, which is a sac-like clump of synovial fluid. The way in my mind I picture it is, imagine if you had like lumpy jam, you've got some fluid like jam, and then within that you also have some thicker clumps of the strawberry or the raspberry or the blackberry, whatever it might be, but it's essentially the same material. There's just more of it in a denser, sort of more packed in clump in certain places. And these are in the hot spots of the joint. So for example, we might have a bursa down here where there's particularly high amounts of friction and impact between the joint capsule and the end of the bone, and perhaps on the underside here where we might have a little bit of extra friction and impact between the ligament and the end of the bone of the cartilage. So bursas are also there, and I've just drawn those in pink. So if we jump back to the exam question, figure 2 shows a diagram of the knee joint. Label A and B. Well, now that we've got that picture in our mind from the one that we've just drawn, A is pointing to the end of the bone, the thing that wraps around the end of the bone, so we know that to be cartilage. And then we have B pointing to the void, the space, this lined off area, which we now know to be synovial fluid. But as you can see, there is a ligament there. We have got the synovial membrane in the slightly darker shade, and then the joint capsule, which is sort of surrounding the rest of this joint. And then, like we said, the muscle on the top with its tendons, with the patella there as well, and obviously the femur and the tibia that are up there meeting. But that is that, so I hope you found that useful, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now.